Hello, today I want to introduce digital ethnography study, and I will use Worldcoin as a topic. In sample to introduce what is digital ethnography study. What is ethnography? Ethnography is is has some core idea. We use for with ethnography, we want to know who designed this definition of a human, which bodies may be excluded, do institutional systems reflect culture or political bias. These questions show that identity systems are never neutral. So what is digital ethnography? In traditional ethnography, we stay a physical place like a village, and focus on kinship systems, religion rituals, and local authority in the physical places. But in digital ethnography, shifts attention to platforms, algorithms, and interfaces. This reflects a broader social change. Institutions are no longer only human or legal, but increasingly technical and automated. So let's define digital ethnography. Ethnography is a qualitative approach adapting ethnographic method to study social interactions, meaning making, and cultures with digital elements, platforms, algorithms. Methodology combines observation, discourses analysis, and multimodal data collection, including the screenshots, chat logs, and the metadata. In digital ethnography, we also analyze how techniques systems shape identity and power while navigating ethical issues, including privacy and consent, in hybrid, online, and offline context. Let's take this example. This example is about a TikTok user has been censored because she posted pole dancing picture images in his TikTok, and she is also a social science PhD. In this paper, her research focused on how flagging and deperforming shape inequalities on Instagram and TikTok. In science, online abuse through platform affordance and moderation systems. Her digital ethnography methodology include semi-structured virtual ethnography interview, participation observation of platform experiences and algorithmic behavior, finance thematic analysis of lived experience also included in this method in the methodologies. Cross-platform tracing including Discord, Twitter, Telegram discussion are also present in her paper. There are some key analytic concepts. Platform governance assemblages, algorithm opacity, and focus series, digital mob behavior, and coordinated reporting. Ethnography. There are some ethnographic insight. Moderation tools become social power structures. Marginalized creator experience emotional, economic, and identity impact. So what is institutional? In anthropology, institutions are not limited to law. They include who is recognized as a member, how membership is obtained, what happens when rules are violated, and whether rules are taken for granted institutional structure. everyday life and shape what feels normal or acceptable. On digital platforms, institutions operate through technological, economic, insensitive, and network effects. Rules are enforced by systems rather than people. This represents a major transformation in how social order is produced and maintained. Why I choose Worldcoin as this is simple because Worldcoin aims to create a global digital identity system using biometric verification instead of passport of government. Identity is verified through a device that scans the human's iris. This makes Worldcoin a powerful example of non-state institutional authority. This is a workflow in Worldcoin's ecosystem. There are Worldcoin token, app, and water ID, and you need to use your iris to verification you are human, and then you need an app to authenticate you are a member of this ecosystem. There are 70 million people join this ecosystem, and you can also, if you are also you are already a member in this ecosystem, then you can invite your friend to join, and then you can earn more additional Worldcoin. Orb is the device for verify that you are human, and you can buy over from the Worldcoin site, and to become a community operator. So your membership and your law will be defined by Worldcoin ecosystem, and the Worldcoin token also has available in the big exchange, so you can also buy Worldcoin to join this. And if we want to study Worldcoin, we needed to have some plan about how for our digital ethnography methodology. The first is to define a digital field. Map ecosystem, word app verification, and telephone Discord discourse governance documents is our field, and is my field. And treat Worldcoin as a digital instructional assemblage interface plus rules plus users. Then we needed to do the data creation, participation of onboarding and the verification flow, trace ethnography. We needed to trace notifications, referral mechanic, reward changes, semi-structural interviews with verified users, failed applicants, and operators. Also, we needed to capture the algorithmic concept and community sense making. The analysis strategy is including the semantic coding, membership. It contains membership and personhood, insensitive and symbolic, capital governance authority and power. Regulate interview quotes, past platform traces, past public discourse can help us to analyze the Worldcoin in a bigger picture. About of ASIC and output, no biometric creation and anonymized identities, and focus on how digital infrastructure produce legitimacy, inclusion, and exclusion. Let's go back to the ethnographic question. There is no state, no law, and no police. How does a digital system decide who comes as a legitimate participant, who is allowed to join or remain, and who can be excluded? Institution is in our everyday life. User may join for financial reasons in Worldcoin, but remains for community and future expectations. Economic incentives can transform into cultural meaning and social identity. Worldcoin follow the rule: one biological human equals one digital identity. Identity is verified through a biometric device. From an ethnographic perspective, this defines who comes as a legitimate person within the system. But Worldcoin has some controversies. Founded by Sam Altman and collaborators aim to create a global proof of personhood through biometric devices. Rapid global rollout triggered debates about privacy, surveillance, and biometric data collection. Regulatory concerns rise in multiple countries, including China and Thailand, regarding consent, governance, and data protection. Critics argue the system centralized power despite decentralization rhetoric. Supporters frame it as an infrastructure for universal digital identity and potential basic income distribution. Worldcoin encourages companies through technical limits, economic incentive, and network effects. People follow the rules because leaving the system may mean losing its access or opportunity. So, in this study, we study rules, touch, and technology interaction, and multiple layered field across online systems. Platforms become new institution evidence we can see in this Worldcoin ecosystem. And the Worldcoin is also as private order institution, coded as a law. Surveillance embedded in infrastructure, participation produce self-governance. From the producer view, we can see Worldcoin as a digital capital. Tokens represent economic capital within a digital field. Verified identity and the network ties function as social capital. As ambassador status and referral achievements generate symbolic capital. Insensitive structures risk reinforcing esteem equality among users. From a guidance view, we can see Worldcoin as an abstract system. Users rely on complex technological systems they cannot fully understand. Trust becomes central to participation in blockchain infrastructures. Platform rules enable new forms of agency while constraining behavior. Everyday practice reproduce institutional structure through participation. From focus view, we can see Worldcoin as a power and discipline. Scanners operate as digital surveillance technologies enforcing identity norms. Algorithmic governance promotes self-regulation rather than direct coercion. Platform rhetoric of decentralization coexists with centralized design power. Identity verification represents a form of biopolitical governance. we need to talk about the Sam Altman's law because he is also the CEO of OpenAI too. This dual leadership position connects two major technology trajectories, creating a visible institutional bridge between artificial intelligence and global identity verification. There are some concerns about OpenAI and its chatbot. For example, in OpenAI provider has service, but this service has a potential privacy risk. No federal regulatory body governs has information shared with AI chatbot. ChatGPT is not HIPAA compliant. Sharing data is a buyer beware contractual agreement. It is in a breach. Users have no HIPAA rights. Recourse is limited to FTC intervention or lawsuits. The intersection of medical info and AI remains legally murky. The core arguments Worldcoin functions as a private surrogate state. Could replace traditional governance mechanisms, identity and sensitive and market shape participation. Blockchain identity ecosystem position token as a component of technological infrastructure rather than traditional financial instruments. This positioning influences regulatory application, replacing identity token hybrid at the boundary of payments, data governance, and digital identity. The result is the redistribution of oversight across multiple domains, not the absence of regulation. Government increasingly occurs through technical design choices and later precede formal legal classification. Platforms innovate in domains where legal categories remain unsettled rather than directly confronting regulatory frameworks. This reinforces the role of code interfaces and insensitive structures as a de facto institutional mechanism shaping behavior and power relations before public policy fully adapts. So this digital platform functions as a new institutions that organize the membership and the behavior through technology rather than law alone. Ethnography helps reveal hidden power in digital systems.